ફરી એકવાર આપણે બીએ ઇંગ્લિશ સેમ 1ના પેપર CC 101માં રવિન્દ્રનાથ ટેગોરના એસે ધ રિલિજન ઓફ ધ ફોરેસ્ટની ચર્ચા કરવા માટે એકત્રિત થયા છીએ. ધ રિલિજન ઓફ ધ ફોરેસ્ટ ઉપર અત્યાર સુધીમાં આપણે 3 લેક્ચર જોયા છે અને હવે પછી આ એક લેક્ચરમાં આપણે એ નિબંધની ચર્ચા પૂર્ણ કરીશું. અત્યાર સુધી આપણે જે વાત કરી છે એમાં આપણે એ ચર્ચા કરી કે જંગલો એ માનવ જાત માટે એક સારા શિક્ષક છે. જંગલો એ અર્થ ડેમોક્રેસી એટલે કે પૃથ્વીની લોકશાહી એટલે એકબીજા સાથે રહીને જીવતા શીખવે છે, તાલબદ્ધતાથી જીવતા શીખવે છે, એકબીજાને ટેકો કરતા શીખવે છે. તો આમ વિવિધતામાં એકતાની વાત આપણને જંગલો શીખવાડે છે. ત્યાર પછી નિબંધની ચર્ચા કરતાં આપણે એ વાત કરી કે આ વિશ્વમાં જીવવા માટે આપણા મગજનો એક એટીટ્યૂડ, એક અભિગમ બહુ જ મહત્ત્વનો ભાગ ભજવે છે. જો વિશ્વ સાથે સારા સંબંધો અથવા એમ કહીએ કે વિશ્વ સાથે સંબંધો બનાવવા હોય અને જાળવવા હોય તો 2 પદ્ધતિ છે. એક છે તમે કોઈની ઉપર શાસન કરીને, કોઈને જીતી લઈને, કોઈની ઉપર હુકમ ચલાવીને લોકોને તમારી સાથે રાખી શકો, અને બીજું છે લોકો તરફ સહાનુભૂતિ બતાવીને, લોકો તરફ પ્રેમ બતાવીને પણ લોકોને જીતી શકાય છે. રવિન્દ્રનાથ ટેગોર પોતાના આ નિબંધમાં કહે છે કે જેમ જંગલની અંદર મોટું વૃક્ષ નાના વૃક્ષોને પણ પોતાની છાયામાં રાખીને અને ટેકો કરીને સહાનુભૂતિપૂર્વક એને વિકસવામાં મદદરૂપ થાય છે, એમ જો મનુષ્ય જાતિમાં પણ શક્તિશાળી લોકો સહાનુભૂતિ અને પ્રેમથી બીજાઓ સાથે સંબંધ જાળવે તો એનાથી આ એક સારું વિશ્વ અને સુખી વિશ્વ બની શકે. તો એ રવિન્દ્રનાથ ટેગોર ગુરુવરનો ખ્યાલ છે. અને છેલ્લે આપણે જે વાત કરી તે મુજબ ગ્લોબલાઇઝેશન એટલે કે વૈશ્વિકીકરણ. તો વૈશ્વિકીકરણના પરિણામે આજે વિશ્વમાં લોકો આરામદાયક જિંદગી જીવવા તરફ પ્રેરાયા, સુખી થયા. પરંતુ આ સારા પરિણામોની સાથે વૈશ્વિકીકરણના કેટલાક ગેરલાભ પણ થયા છે. વૈશ્વિકીકરણને કારણે મનુષ્ય પૈસા ભૂખ્યો અને સત્તા ભૂખ્યો બન્યો છે, અને પરિણામ એ આવ્યું કે આજે શક્તિશાળી મનુષ્ય હંમેશા નબળા મનુષ્યને કચડે છે, ડરાવે છે, અને આમ સમાજનો એક વર્ગ, એક કચડાયેલો વર્ગ હંમેશા ભયભીત અવસ્થામાં જીવે છે. અને કદાચ કેટલીક વાર એવું બનતું આવ્યું છે કે આ ભયભીતતા, આ ભય, આ ડર એક હદ જ્યારે વટાવી જાય છે ત્યારે એ હિંસાનું સ્વરૂપ ધારણ કરે છે. તો આપણે આપણા આગળના જે યુટ્યુબ વિડીયોઝ છે એની અંદર આ બધી ચર્ચાઓ કરી છે. હવે પછી આજના લગભગ આજના આ અંતિમ યુટ્યુબ વિડીયોમાં આપણે બાકીની જે દલીલો છે, જે વાતો છે એની ચર્ચા કરીશું. અને હું આશા રાખું છું કે આજે આપણો આ નિબંધ પૂર્ણ થાય. ત્યાર પછી હજી વધુ એક નિબંધની ચર્ચા કરવાની બાકી રહે છે. તો ચાલો હું તમને એ સ્લાઇડ શો તરફ લઈ જાઉં કે જ્યાં આજે આપણે આ નિબંધના અંતિમ મુદ્દાઓની ચર્ચા કરીશું. So this was the last slide that we discussed in our last lecture, and the last point of this slide says A civilization based on power and greed is a civilization based on fear and violence. That means if there is importance of power, if there is importance of greed in a society, then naturally the result will be a society with fear and violence. We have already discussed this in the last lecture, so I am going forward with another slide. Let's move ahead. If India is to survive ecologically and politically, if India has to stay democrats, if Indian citizen is to be guaranteed good future, we need to give the road of conquest and destruction and take the road of union and conversation. This is what Guruvar Rabindranath Tagore says. And the only thing that we can infer from these 3-4 lines is that we need to give up the road of conquest and destruction. Because what is the aim of the society? And when Rabindranath Tagore writes, at that time India was not a free country. So these are some of the views that Rabindranath Tagore suggested for a better country. He says if India is to survive ecologically and politically, if you have to survive in this world of powerful countries, at that time we are talking of the earlier half of 20th century. At that time India was a very weak country, weak nation, and if at that time India wanted to survive politically, or if India wanted to maintain the democratic level, that is democracy, લોકશાહી જાળવવી હોય, and as it is the prime importance in a democratic country to provide a better life to the citizens of the nation, citizens of the country. So if India wanted to provide a better future to the citizens of the country, then what India needed to do, according to Rabindranath Tagore, we need to give up the road of conquest and destruction. So Guruvar Rabindranath Tagore says, you just leave these things, just forget the power, forget to control the people, control the society, forget to make a conquest over the people and terrify the people and thereby rule the people. No, તમે લોકોને ડરાવીને એમની ઉપર કાબુ મેળવીને જો કંટ્રોલ કરવા માગતા હો તો that is a wrong idea according to Rabindranath Tagore. On the contrary, Rabindranath Tagore says, take the road of union and conservation. What you have to do? You have to unite with the people, you have to show sympathy to the people, you have to show love to the people, and you have to conserve them, you have to provide them a better life. If that happens, then there will be a united nation, united country, and this united country can gallop on the way of progress. This is what Rabindranath Tagore believed. He says we need to cultivate peace and compassion instead of power and violence. Cultivate peace. ખેતી કરો, શેની ખેતી કરશો? અનાજની તો બરાબર છે, પણ સાથે સાથે you have to cultivate peace and compassion. You should maintain peace. You should be having compassion for the poor, compassion for the people who are crushed, compassion for the deprived. જે લોકો કચડાયેલા છે, વંચિત છે, એમના તરફ દયાભાવ રાખો, એમના તરફ શાંતિ રાખો. And don't ever think of cultivating power and violence, because power and violence cannot give you a peaceful rule, peaceful nation. We have seen hundreds of kings in the history who have been very powerful. Even we have a very good example of King Ashoka, who was a very powerful king, but then he realized that power cannot bring him peace. And that's why he shifted himself to the path of peace. So this is what Rabindranath Tagore also says. He says we need to turn to the forest as our perennial teachers of peace and freedom. તમે જંગલોની સામે જુઓ, તમારા પ્રાચીન ગુરુઓ છે જે તમને શાંતિ અને આઝાદીની વ્યાખ્યા આપે છે. ઓફ ડાયવર્સિટી એન્ડ ડેમોક્રેસી, ત્યાં વિવિધતા પણ છે અને છતાંય લોકશાહી છે. સો રવિન્દ્રનાથ ટેગોર એડવાઇઝીસ the Indian society, which was going to be free within some years. Rabindranath Tagore says that you have to follow the forest as your teachers, because these forests have imbibed the lessons of peace and freedom, and they have been spreading this message of peace and freedom to the society. And along with that, we have variety of vegetation in the forest. There is a lot of diversity, but this diversity does not divide them. Though there is diversity, vividhata છે છતાં પણ they are living in a united manner. So it is the symbol of a perfect democracy that the forests are teaching us. Tagore started Santi Niketan as a tapovan. We know Rabindranath Tagore started a school named Santi Niketan. It was a forest school. Why should he start his school in a forest or in an area where there is no community nearby residing? Because he believed, or he wanted to get the inspiration, both to take inspiration from nature and to create an Indian Renaissance. So these were the two purposes of Rabindranath Tagore of starting Tapovan Santiniketan school in a forest. First, he knew that if you are holding a school in forest, then there will be direct contact with the forest. It will be easy for the students to understand and to get inspiration from the forest. And forests are always inspirational. And the other thing, if ideology, if thinking pattern of a group of students starts in a different way, then this can spread among the people of the whole society. So it can be a new Renaissance. Renaissance એટલે નવજાગૃતિ. નવજાગૃતિ શબ્દ ભલે ઇંગ્લિશ રેનેસા ઉપરથી આવ્યો હોય, પણ અહીં રેનેસાનો અર્થ થાય છે નવજાગૃતિ, અને ખાસ કરીને લોકોની માનસિક નવજાગૃતિ. લોકો વિચારોની રીતે નવાપણું સ્વીકારે, કંઈક નવી રીતે વિચારતા થાય. That is what Rabindranath Tagore intended to say. Let's move ahead with another slide. Today, that is in our modern times, as just as in Tagore's time, because the time might have passed. When Tagore wrote, it might be the earlier half of the 20th century. Now, this is the earlier half of the 21st century. But what is the difference? There is not much difference between these two states of time. We need to turn to the forest for lesson in freedom and liberation. Even today, it's the demand of the time that we once again need to go to the lap of forest. We need to see the forest. We need to observe the forest. We need to learn from the forest about freedom, about liberation. Because with the passage of time, the human beings, especially the Indian people, they have worsened as far as their thinking is concerned. વિચારસરણી વધારે ને વધારે ખરાબ થતી ગઈ છે. Man has become more self-centered than he was some 100 years ago. So according to Tagore, and even if we apply this essay to our present times, we still need to go to the forest, we still need to go to the lap of nature so that we can understand what the word freedom means, what the word liberation means. As Tagore wrote in The Religion of the Forest, the ideal of perfection preached by the forest dwellers of ancient India runs through the heart of our classical literature and influences our minds. If you read our classical literature, if you read our great epics, if you read our great works by Kalidas or the other dramatists or other poets of the ancient times, then you can easily understand that the ideal of perfection preached by the forest dwellers, the people, and the vegetation who were in the forest, they have taught us, they have presented number of examples in our ancient writings that the heart of our class, and that can be witnessed in our classical literature as well. And if these old things are read once again, if they are read, observed and understood in a proper way, then it can influence the minds of the people in our present times as well. So, though Tagore might have written for those days, for that period only, but it is equally applicable to the present times. He writes, in all our dramas, nature stands on her own right, proving that she has a great function to impart the peace of the eternal to human emotions. What does nature suggest in literature? Nothing but peace. It teaches us how to impart the peace of the eternal to the human emotions. Nature teaches us how to become peaceful towards other human beings. And Rabindranath Tagore believed that if a man understands how to impart, how to disseminate peace, how to disseminate love, how to disseminate sympathy to other human beings, then the nation is surely going to be a very peaceful nation, a very successful nation. We can live in peace and harmony only through cooperation and love, and not by dominating nature of humans. This is the ultimate message that we find from Rabindranath Tagore. You want to live in a peaceful, harmonious future? Okay. Then there is only one thing to be done, and that first to give up the dominating nature of human beings, give up the love for power and greed, and just embrace the ideals like cooperation and love. If you harmonize with the people, if you cooperate with the people, if you show sympathy and love to the people, then naturally the country is going to live in peace and harmony. But if you want to control the people, then there are rare chances of your living a peaceful future. And at last, the last slide that I would like to discuss with you is this, wherein we are summing up the ideals that Tagore has given us. What has he said? According to the true Indian view, our consciousness of the world merely as the sum total of things that exist and as governed by laws is imperfect. That means, if some Indian believes that whatever the things that we have around us, there may be large buildings, there may be hi-fi gardens and restaurants, there may be beautiful people roaming around, there may be high-rise buildings, there may be number of cars and this and that. So these are certain physical things. And Tagore says that if our consciousness of the world merely as the sum total of things, આજુબાજુમાં જે છે એ બધાનો સરવાળો જો આપણે એને આપણા અને કાયદાથી ચાલતું વિશ્વ, એને જો આપણે આપણું સભાનતાને ગણતા હોઈએ અથવા એને સભાનતાનું પરિણામ ગણતા હોઈએ અથવા એની સમજનું પરિણામ ગણતા હોઈએ તો it's a wrong or imperfect consciousness according to Rabindranath Tagore. He says, but it is perfect. This consciousness of a human being can be perfect only when our consciousness realizes all things as spiritually one with it. So these are not some different things which you can own. કે તમે કોઈ વસ્તુને મારી છે, મારી માલિકીની છે એવું માનતા હશો તો તમારો વિચાર ખોટો છે. પણ જો તમે એને પોતાના એક ભાગ તરીકે જુઓ છો, પોતે એની સાથે આત્મીય રીતે અથવા તો એક આત્મસાત થઈ ગયા છો, ઓલ થિંગ્સ આર સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલી વન વિથ ઇટ, યુ આર સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલી વન વિથ ઇટ, તમે એની અંદર ઓતપ્રોત થઈ ગયા છો, યુ ફીલ એઝ ઇફ it is not something else, it is one part of your body, then one part of yourself, instead of calling body I should say self, and therefore capable of giving us joy. અને જો કોઈ પણ અન્ય વસ્તુને, કોઈ પણ અન્ય વ્યક્તિને, કોઈ પણ અન્ય પ્રાણી પક્ષીને તમે પોતાના સ્વરૂપે જોશો, then it can be something that can give you joy. But if you think it as an alien thing, કંઈક જુદું છે, અને જુદું છે જ્યારે કોઈક વસ્તુ અલગ છે, જુદું છે, when we are not connected with it or him or her, then naturally we think of utilizing that other thing. આપણે હંમેશા ત્યારે એ અન્યનો ઉપયોગ કરવાનું વિચારીએ છીએ, આપણે એને અલગ સમજીએ છીએ, અને that is not a perfect view of the world. For us, the highest purpose of this world is not merely living in it, knowing it and making use of it, but realizing our own selves in it through expansion of sympathy, not alienating ourselves from it and dominating it, but comprehending and uniting it with ourselves in perfect union. મેં તમને આગળ જ કહ્યું, એ જ વાત આ છેલ્લી લીટીમાં આવે છે. He says, the highest purpose of this world is not merely living in it. Because generally what happens, હું તમને એક સરળ ભાષામાં કહીશ તો કોઈ પબ્લિક ટ્રાન્સપોર્ટ બસમાં આપણે જ્યારે મુસાફરી કરીએ છીએ ત્યારે આપણે ઘણીવાર, આપણે એટલે સામાન્ય લોકો, ઘણીવાર એની સીટ ફાડે છે, ઘણીવાર અંદર લીટા કરે છે અને ઘણી બધી એને નુકસાન પહોંચાડવાનો પ્રયાસ કરે છે. તો તમારા ઘરે પણ કાર હોય છે, એની સીટ કેમ નથી ફાડતા? Because we consider the car as our own. But when it comes to some public transport, then we don't consider it to be our own. Same way, if you consider the world as your own self, then naturally you are going to care for the world. And what does world means? World means everything, animate, inanimate, everything that exists in the world that has to be a part of your own self. And if that kind of thinking develops, then only we can live in a peaceful manner. So he says the highest purpose of this world is not merely living in it. જો તમે એમ કહો છો કે હું આ પેલી વાત છે મકાન અને ઘરવાળી વાત. મકાનને આપણે જ્યારે મકાન કહીએ છીએ ત્યારે દિવાલો તો એની એ જ છે, ઈંટો એની એ જ છે, પણ જ્યારે મકાન કહીએ છીએ ત્યારે we are not attaching ourselves with that particular construction. But when we say this is my house, this is my home, then you say you are not ready to put a scratch on the wall. તમે દિવાલ પર એક લીટો પણ મારવા કોઈને દેતા નથી. કેમ? કારણ કે તમારું ઘર છે. તો જ્યારે વિશ્વને આપણે આપણા ઘર તરીકે જોતા થઈએ ત્યારે કંઈક પરિણામ જુદું આવશે. બાકી જો વિશ્વને માત્ર અંદર રહેવાની જગ્યા ગણવામાં આવે તો તમે એને ગમે ત્યારે નુકસાન પહોંચાડી શકો. So the highest purpose of this world is not merely living in it. વિશ્વમાં ખાલી રહેવું એ હેતુ નથી. Knowing it and making use of it. રહેવું, એને જાણવું, એનો ઉપયોગ કરવો. That is not the purpose of our life. But realizing our own selves in it through expansion of sympathy. How can you realize yourself in it? You sympathize with the world. You sympathize with the people around you. You sympathize with the animals and birds around you. You sympathize with the trees and plants around you. And if you show sympathy, if you feel for them, then naturally you are going to feel them as part of your own self, and it will give you a peaceful thinking, realizing our own selves in it, alienating ourselves through expansion of sympathy. તમે દરેક તરફ સહાનુભૂતિ બતાવો છો, નહીં કે તમે બધાથી પોતાની જાતને alienate કરો છો. When you see something as an alien thing, naturally you are not going to feel for it, you are not going to feel emotional for it, you are not going to sympathize with it, because you think that this is something else. This is quite simple. If there is some problem to our mother or father or brother or sister, we feel sorry, we are not happy with it. But if same kind of thing happens with somebody who is in our neighborhood, then our feeling is somewhat different, because we always think that the neighbor is not my father, my son, my daughter, my sister, nothing related to me through blood relations. This kind of thinking has to be given up, has to be left. Only then you can enjoy a nation like a nation that is like a heaven. Or if the nation becomes heaven, and if this kind of ideology develops all over the world, then the world itself will become a heaven, ek swarg bani jaye. And you have to stop dominating people, you have to stop alienating your own self from others, but only comprehend and unite with the world. And if that kind of thing happens, then you will be able to get the perfect nation and thereby the perfect world. So this is, we have in our Indian mythology and Indian culture that ideology of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So you need to understand the world as your kutumb, as your family, and you cannot, you have to start that with your nation. જો દેશને પોતાનું કુટુંબ ગણીએ છીએ, તો દેશના બધા લોકોને પણ કુટુંબના સભ્યો ગણશો, અને then your selfish motives will be put aside and you will start behaving as if you care for each and everything, thing or human. So this is it that Rabindranath Tagore has said in our essay, The Religion of the Forest. We are supposed to understand the religion of the forest and follow it if you want to make the nation like a heaven, if you want to live a peaceful life, and if you want to give a bright future to the next generations. I think you have understood the essay properly, and if there is any question, then you can ask me, you can call me if there is any problem in understanding some line or something. We still need to talk about one more essay. I'll make YouTube videos on that essay as well, and we'll try to understand the essay. The second essay that I am supposed to do is Virginia Woolf's Shakespeare's Sister. Now it is also one chapter of Virginia Woolf's noticeable work, A Room of One's Own. I call it a day. Thank you. Goodbye.